When you're planning a backcountry trip, chances are that you're going to encounter some long days and some challenging terrain. A sturdy shelter and a comfortable sleep setup are crucial for backcountry tripping so that you can recharge for the next stretch of your journey. If you don't own the appropriate gear to get a good night's sleep, Whynot Adventure can make it happen. To experience a cozy night in the backcountry, you'll need a tent, an inflatable mattress like a Thermorest, a sleeping bag liner, and a pillow. We'll start with the tent. In Keji, tent pads are provided, and you must use these. If you're outside of the park, be sure to find a flat piece of ground with as little vegetation, rocks, and roots. Every tent that we have at Whynot Adventure has a footprint, the tent body, a rainfly, poles, and pegs. The footprint goes underneath the tent to protect the body from the rough ground and to help keep you dry inside if the ground is wet. Next, you can assemble the poles into the frame of the tent. For some tents, including the one in this demonstration, the poles are color-coded to match up with portions of the tent to help you set it up correctly. Pole orientation can look different depending on the type of tent. Be sure to check the instructions provided for guidance. Seating the poles completely is important in order to prevent any damage. You will plug the end of each pole into the grommet at the four corners of the tent to create the frame, and then fasten all the clips on the tent to the poles to create the shelter. There is an extra pole that goes on the top of the tent and plugs into two grommets above each doorway in order to create more headroom inside the tent. You don't need to worry about using the pegs on our freestanding tents. They hold tension without being fastened to the ground, and they shouldn't blow away on you once you place your sleeping gear inside. Finally, you can place the rainfly over top so that the zipper doors line up with the tent body. You may want to peg out the vestibules of the fly and the side vents to get some airflow in the hot summer. You should now be set to climb inside and set up your bed. First, you'll want to stash the tent bag somewhere easy to find for when you take it down. Remember to avoid pulling on the zipper if some of the cloth gets stuck. Instead, gently remove the cloth to avoid tears in the tent. Now you can inflate your Thermorest. Unscrew the nozzle and blow into it until you have the desired firmness. Close the nozzle and place it on the floor. Now remove your sleeping bag from its stuff sack and lay it over the Thermorest. The cotton liner can be tucked inside the sleeping bag like a sheet. I also like to use the sleeping bag stuff sack filled with some extra clothes as a pillow. Sweet dreams! In the morning, when it's time to pack up, start with the sleeping bag. Don't bother trying to fold up the liner. You can tuck it back in the sack with the sleeping bag. To pack up the Thermorest, unscrew the nozzle and lay down on top of it to push most of the air out. Fold it in half lengthwise and start to roll it up as tight as you can, starting at the foot. Once it's completely rolled up, hold on tight while you screw the nozzle closed. This is an important step because otherwise the mattress will reinflate and be challenging to get in and out of the stuff sack. If you've pushed enough air out, you should now fit it back into the stuff sack. Each piece of gear at Whynot Adventure has an associated number that matches with the number on the sack. Have a look to see what the numbers are and match them up when you're packing. Before you collapse the tent, remove the fly, shake it out, and fold it up. Next, pick up the tent with an open door facing down and shake out any dirt and debris, and maybe a few dead mosquitoes that made their way inside. Now, unclip the tent from the poles and separate. Be sure to unseat the poles fully before folding the sections up. Place the poles in the bag first, then the other tent parts, ensuring that all the parts are present before cinching it up. Now you're all set to finish up your last sip of coffee and break camp.